Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to briefly go over the work that you need to do for week 2. And I'm releasing part of week 2 a little early. So for week 2 you'll have 3 assignment folders like you did with week 1. Assignment number 1 is what I will be releasing early. In assignment number 1 you will be watching a documentary called True Justice. It's Bryan Stevenson's Fight for Equality. Now, normally I play this in class for everybody to watch, and I was afraid that this summer, with it being online, we wouldn't be able to watch it because it is not available for free online streaming. I have access to an account online where we can watch it, and I own the DVD. But because of the protest and Black Lives Matter that have been going on in the last few weeks, they've actually made this documentary available for free for everybody to watch this month. And so I'm very, very excited, and we are so lucky to be able to still be able to watch it. This is about an hour and 40 minutes or so. And when you watch it, you will have a few questions to answer with it. Okay, so these are the 2 links. Assignment number 1 is what I'm releasing early for week 2. And I'm just doing that for those who have gotten done early, for those who, for this kind of an assignment, because it might take longer than to sit down and work on something for 10 to 15 minutes. I want you to be able to have plenty of time to plan out your time so that you can get that documentary watched. So if you are still working on the homework for week 1, that's fine. It's not due until 11:59 Sunday, June 21st. So please do not feel rushed. This documentary is going to be a great way to talk about the background of why wrongful convictions happen, especially dealing with race. Bryan Stevenson is a lawyer who works with death row inmates, and when you're placed on death row, you no longer have a legal obligation to counsel. And so he works with those people who are in dire need for a lawyer. And he has changed the law at the Supreme Court level 5 times now, I believe. It's really amazing the work he does. And so he created what is called the Equal Justice Initiative. And so this documentary, you will get to meet who he is and what the Equal Justice Initiative does. I will give out some warnings. This documentary uses the N-word, and there are some visuals that may be upsetting. Okay, just giving you the warning, a heads up. The reason why we're watching this semester is because our education system does not teach a true history of what has happened in this country. And so what this gives us is an equal footing, an equal background, so that once everybody sees this, we can better talk about race and about wrongful convictions that have happened in this country. Pay special attention to the middle of this documentary. It will be shown on the screen several pictures with a yellow line connecting them. Okay, it's important to remember that yellow line, what is being connected there. Okay, so he's showing the connection of when slavery ended in this country all the way to mass incarceration today and what has led to that. All right. So please take your time when you watch this. Let me know if there are any questions that you have as well when you're watching this. He also wrote a book called Just Mercy. Here's the cover of it. They made it into a movie with Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Foxx, and Brie Larson. And that right now I do believe is actually streaming for free for people online as well. So if you have time, check that one out. Just Mercy. His biggest point that he's making in that book is, are we the worst thing that we've ever done? And so he is always pushing for a fair sentencing for people. And so he helped out minors in this country, where if you were convicted as a child, someone under the age of 18, he made it so that you would never be on death row and that you would no longer get a death sentence. Because what we find is that if you are juvenile who's been incarcerated, once you get out, your recidivism rate is very low. So it means that if you were incarcerated as a kid, you most likely won't come back as an adult. But we know that if you are incarcerated as an adult, you have a higher recidivism rate where you will come back. And so Just Mercy follows the story of Walter McMillian, who Jamie Foxx plays. Now, in this book, there are also other cases and people he talks about, but the movie mostly focuses on Walter McMillian's case. You're not required to watch Just Mercy for this class, but I would highly recommend it. It's a very good movie. In this movie, one of Jamie's cellmates is a man named Anthony Ray Hinton, and he is also featured in Just Mercy. He was released from death row, and he wrote his own book, The Sun Does Shine, and it's a really, really interesting book. He is featured in the documentary that you will watch, okay? And it was very interesting to read his story. He was very down in the dumps when he first got to death row, like most people would, and then he ended up talking the warden into allowing a few of the guys on death row to create a book club and to read books. And one of those guys in his group, he was one of the last people to be tried and convicted for a lynching or a race crime or something like that in the South. And that white man, he ended up changing his view on people, on race, on black people. And it's really interesting to see how that book club really affected people and changed people's lives. So if you're ever interested, you're into this true crime stuff, reading about wrongful conviction, here's another book for you to check out as well. So assignment number 1 for week 2 then is to watch this documentary and then to go and answer the questions. The questions that pertain to the material go in order as they appear in the documentary. And the first question is in the first 5 minutes, okay? So take a look at these questions first before you start watching it. All right, so that is what I'm releasing early for week 2, so just plan out your time. And then the other 2 assignments, assignment number 2, we're going to go over 3 things, and these are just videos to watch. And I have the Word documents here in these little 3 folders too. We're going to talk about active reading. And active reading is basically what you read about and how to mark a book, that article. Okay, and so here we go over strategies. If you had taken CCS 98 at Parkland, this would have been in your textbook. It would have been chapter 10, I think is the first chapter in the packet that you had. And so it's stuff that you do before, during, and after you read. And then in this folder, I go over how to write a summary, and I actually practice writing a summary for this article, how to mark a book. And then the same with critical response, okay? And so all of that material is right here for you to preview. And then for assignment number 3, you have to actually type up a summary and critical response for the article, how to mark up a book, okay? So these 2 assignments will be released Sunday afternoon, June 21st, but I'm releasing assignment number 1 just a little bit early to give people time to schedule out in their lives when they can sit down and watch that documentary. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know about any of this material. When you write the summary and critical response, if you want to type up your own little draft and then you want to email it to me with feedback, I will be happy to do that. I hope you guys have a good weekend. You're enjoying the nice weather so far. I've been getting out and walking a little bit every night. And trying to read in the afternoon when the sun is on the other side of the house so I don't get any sunburn. So you guys enjoy your week. Again, let me know how things are going if you have any problems come up, and I will talk to you later.